something else, buddy.
I'm Erin Throckmorton. Welcome to the show. All you archery hunters out there know that chasing elk can be one of the funnest hunts you can do every single year. It's also one of the most frustrating. This week, I get to head back to Montana and chase bugling bulls with some friends of mine. Well, back in my home state of Montana. It's actually opening day for archery season. As you can see, it is not early morning. It has been pouring here in Montana. So I did not go out this morning because I'm actually packing up the mountain. I'm going to be up there for like 3 or 4 days. And I didn't want to get all my stuff wet on the hike up. So the rain has stopped. Still some clouds, but the sun's peeking through. So gonna head up the mountain. My initial plan was to take a smaller camera, and unfortunately that's not working. So we got the big camera, the big tripod we're heading up the mountain with. So pretty cool to come back to the spot where you learned how to hunt as a kid. And you know, even the last 2 years I haven't got to hunt here much. So this is gonna be fun for me. So gonna spend 3 or 4 days up the hill, chasing some elk and deer, whatever we can find, and just kind of getting back to where it all started. Should be a fun couple days. Made her to the top. I didn't film on the way up just because it was so wet and all the deadfall, and my pack was really heavy, so I just focused on getting to the top. Looked like there was a bunch of elk, or a small herd anyway, down below. They fed into this canyon that I'm facing. And once I got to the top ridge, there's 3 bulls bugling over here. So we'll see. That's encouraging. That's encouraging, actually. I got about an hour of daylight left, so I really don't have a lot of time to get off this hill and get into them. It's just too thick, and I didn't want to bump them. So they're just squawking away, bugling a little bit, and so we'll kind of listen to that tonight and rest up after this hike, and we'll see what tomorrow brings. It's a beautiful day. Glad I came up tonight. It was nice to get to my camp spot that night, and I went to sleep listening to all those bugling bulls. The next morning, I made a quick breakfast, had a cup of coffee, and then headed into that same canyon where all the bugling was coming from the night before. Okay, I was planning on doing more filming this morning, but when I got over on this side, there's 4 bulls, and they've been going pretty consistently, so I just kind of snuck down into this bull. The wind's bad, it's at the back of my neck, so I'm still quite a ways away from these elk, at least a few hundred yards, and they're at the bottom, so I don't think they're going to smell me if I stay here. So I'm going to sit here for a little bit, let the winds kind of figure out what they're doing this morning, and just see which direction these bulls are feeding in, or these elk are feeding in. Beautiful day. It's going to be a warm one today, I think, but they're talking, so we got a chance. Giving Back is brought to you by True Flight Adventures, your source for hunting and adventure travel all around the globe. Hammer Bullets, advanced technology, simply better. Safari Taxidermy, preserving the memory of your hunt for over 40 years. Kenetrek Boots, for the trail less traveled. Magnus Broadheads, superior quality and outstanding performance. Coppersmith Global Logistics, your import specialist for 25 years. So I moved down just a little bit, only about 100 yards, just because I can see a little bit better. And it sounds like one small herd is moving up. There's a bull, he's talking quite a bit, but the wind is still pretty unstable right now, so I'm just kind of sitting back. I'm just kind of letting them make the first move, and I'll go from there. I can't just bail off in there and go after him because, I don't want to blow him out of the country. I mean, I got a few days up here, so this is elk hunting. Sometimes you just got to sit and wait, and I'm not the most patient guy in the world, and so sometimes this is hard for me, but we know there's elk here. So I'm just going to sit here for a while and be patient. Once that wind switches, though, I might make a move on this bull because he's talking quite a bit. And I think if I can get down in there, and bugle at him, and if he thinks there's another bull coming to get his cows, I think he will come and have a look. So, but for right now, we're just going to sit here and see if they come to us. Pretty cool, huh? It's just turn the camera off and look down. He's coming on up to the cow call. So little 5-point raghorn, got him in here. He was in shooting range, but I wasn't going to shoot him, so I just got some really good video of him. So still pretty cool. Satellite bulls are out moving, so the herd bulls they haven't talked in quite a while, so I think they're starting to bed down a little bit. So we're just going to stay here. The wind is starting to get in our favor a little bit, and it's still a cool experience to be that close to those elk. Awesome animals. I love being able to do this.
That afternoon, my brother and nephew met me in that same canyon. The elk had gone quiet, but we were hoping they would start talking later on in the day. So we got in position, put Archer out in front of us about 75 yards, and then Reed started to cow call. We stayed in that canyon the rest of the day, but unfortunately, the elk just weren't talking and they weren't moving either.
I came back up today, try my luck before another storm comes in. There's a big storm coming tonight, and so I thought I'd come up at least for the morning. But man, it's foggy, it's been spitting rain, and it's quiet. I've not heard a bugle, I've not heard anything, so today I'm basically just gonna sit. I have one canyon here, and I'm just gonna sit here all morning. That's all I'm gonna do, and just see if anything is moving, because yeah, I don't want to be up here when that storm hits, so, we'll see. This game teaches you to be patient. Well, you can see the fog is letting up just a little bit, but it leaves and then it comes back in, and now it's starting to drizzle rain, and I've been up here for about 5 hours and there is nothing talking today. So, there's a big storm coming tonight and tomorrow, so we'll give it a couple days and then be back after it. This is elk hunting. I know a lot of shows out there, you see a lot of kills, but when you're in the backcountry and when you're chasing these bulls, it's tough. There's a lot of downtime and there's a lot of slow time as well. So I'm trying to capture more of that this year, so you guys can kind of see how hard and how boring it is sometimes. But it still is a nice day to be out here hiking. The weather's still pretty good, but just gonna beat the storm off the mountain, head home, and we'll be back up.
Later that week, I got to follow along with good friend Sean Dawson and some of his hunting buddies in the area that they like to hunt. We got there well before daylight to get set up and see what kind of action the day would bring. The elk were screaming in every single direction, so we figured it was going to be one of those special days in the elk woods. As we were focused on a herd below us, a bull fed over the ridge right behind us. Now this area doesn't have a lot of cover, and although we tried to get set up, that bull locked onto us immediately and just would not come into bow range. After that first bull spooked, we headed to another canyon to look for some more elk. It didn't take long to find some as we found a big herd of elk. They were quite a ways off, but they were moving all over the place. The rut was definitely on. We decided to stay up on the opposite hillside and try and pull one of those bulls to us.
Get tired though and come over and check us out.
There's another pod about 30 head to the left of that other group.
They're starting to bunch up now though. Look at now that big bunch. Last year there's always 20, 30 little bunches of 10 to 20.
Buck right down there.
I want to try to get
Oh
him.
yeah, listen to it.
I want to try to get him right over here. There's a patch of brush over here.
Okay. As the elk started to bed down that morning, there was still a handful of bulls up and moving. We finally had a bull that was responding to our calls, and he started moving in our direction. So Sean and I got set up, and the guy stayed behind to do the calling. We almost had that bull into bow range, and then we both felt the wind hit the back of our necks.
He's a pretty pull for a 5-point.
That was worth getting this one. I don't care how big that bull is, it still does that. That was cool.
That's the thing about archery elk hunting. You can do everything right, but if they smell you, it's game over.
Well, made it back up to elk camp. I took a few days off because the rain was really bad up here, and kind of got out of the weather, let the weather pattern kind of go through, and but came back up today. It's probably about 5 days later. It was hot today, like really hot. I was hiking up this hill. It was in the mid 80s, and the hill's hard enough, let alone the heat. You can see my face is all flushed. But made it up here, and the weather's really supposed to take a turn for the better in my world. It's supposed to be about 20-25 degrees cooler tomorrow. So I think that's really going to help. Even as I'm sitting here in this heat, though, I'm hearing two bulls bugle on this other ridge. So they're still talking up here. So that's exciting. And I think tomorrow's going to be a really good day. So we're just going to kind of take it easy at camp. We got about an hour of daylight left. We came up late today, and see what happens. I was thinking about it on my way up here. I mean, this hill is incredibly difficult to get an elk out of. There's a good number of elk, don't get me wrong, but it's really, really thick. There's a lot of deadfall. It's really steep. It's hard to get around, and it's just tough. I mean, you can call them into 20 yards and not have a shot. So, that coupled with me self-filming now, that's really difficult. So you're not getting a lot of walking footage, stalking footage, because I'm keeping the camera strapped to my pack. And then when I set up, I put it on the tripod and try and, pull the bulls into me. So that's what we're going to try and do, and it's hard to try and get one framed up in the camera and then make the shot. So, but we'll see. It's kind of a challenge. It's changed up my hunting style a little bit, but we'll see what happens. So going to spend 2, maybe 3 days up here, and, I'm excited. We'll see what tomorrow brings. So it's a lot cooler this morning, but it's been really quiet. So I kind of snuck off the other side of the hill here, and just sat down and cow called, and I got 3 bulls going now. So they're here, they're talking a little bit. I'm just going to be really patient this morning and just sit here for probably a couple hours and just see which way they're moving, because I have no idea. They're all over the place. So I'm just going to kind of pinpoint where they're going and get in front of them. Really, with me hunting and filming, that's the only chance I got. But it's cooler today. It's supposed to be a few rain showers. Feels like a good day. We'll see.
The cooler weather had the elk really moving that day, so I figured my best option was to sit tight and see if that herd would feed by me. After about 45 minutes, I could hear that herd getting closer, and it didn't take long before more elk were moving all around me. After an hour and passing up a couple smaller bulls, that herd bull finally committed. This was the opportunity I'd been waiting for all season long.
crazy. Called that big bull right up to me. And I had him at 25 yards, walking through the timber. I couldn't get a shot. I was trying to get the camera on him too. And he snuck in behind me. I watched him. And I knew when he got behind me with the way the wind was, he was going to smell me. And he did. Wow. That was a big bull. We're just going to sit here and let things settle down. He took off, but there's still 2 other bulls bugling, so we'll see what happens.
Unfortunately, that would be my last close encounter of the season. Although archery elk is one of the toughest hunts on the planet, there is no place I'd rather be in September than surrounded by bugling bulls in the mountains.